When thinking of the most dominant Force user in Star Wars history, who comes to mind? The galaxy is filled with powerful Jedi and Sith. Anakin and Luke Skywalker, Grandmaster Yoda, Darth Sidious, and many more were known for their power and connection to the Force. But one name stands out above all others: Revan. Revan played a pivotal role as both Jedi and Sith. His story of incredible power, strategic brilliance, and profound influence across both the light and dark sides of the Force make him a unique and pivotal figure. Today, we're going to uncover 5 reasons why Revan is the most dominant Force user of all time. You are not going to want to miss this. Reason number 1: Revan's powers and abilities. Revan was extraordinarily powerful in the Force, even as a young Jedi Knight. After becoming a Sith Lord, Revan's power grew as he studied the dark side of the Force. At the height of his powers, Revan was able to channel both the light and dark sides simultaneously, and as a result, Revan could unleash the Force in its purest form by opening himself to both sides of the Force in battle. By drawing on the Force, Revan could bolster his natural physical abilities, increasing his speed and strength, and allowing him to perform acrobatic feats impossible for normal humans. Revan was a master at telekinesis, utilizing the Force to manipulate the environment and his opponents by pushing or gripping objects or beings with the Force. He could hurl a heavy stone object at a moment's notice. And on Dromund Kaas, the Jedi Master destroyed a large stone archway from a great distance with just the power of the Force. Revan often threw his lightsaber and guided its path with telekinesis. The Dark Revan proved capable of wielding 2 additional lightsabers telekinetically, sending them spinning around the battlefield. Revan's strong will also allowed him to mentally influence the minds of others with the Force, force his will upon them, and even steal their knowledge. One of Revan's greatest strengths was his skill with Force sense, the ability to sense other beings, their feelings, impending danger, or even the future. Far sight and Force visions were a common occurrence for Revan, and even in a heavily drugged state, the Jedi was able to glimpse the future and see that Surik was coming to rescue him from imprisonment. Revan was also able to use the Force to directly heal his wounds without seeking medical attention. He also possessed the ability to use the Force to resist the effects of poisons and drugs. Revan also had the ability to use the Force to slow the minds and bodies of his targets, and replenish his energies by feeding on them. After becoming a Sith Lord, Revan became a practitioner of Force lightning. His skill with the destructive applications of the dark side was such that he could summon Force storms. Revan also became a proficient user of defensive techniques in order to counter both physical attacks and the Force powers of his opponents. Revan was capable of absorbing and redirecting energy, as he did when he absorbed Darth Nihilus' storm of Force lightning with his bare hands and channeled it through his own body before redirecting it against her and burning her to ash. His strength of will was so powerful that he held himself back from death, and the Dark Revan retained control over a body that was centuries old. The Dark Revan was also capable of telekinetically incapacitating almost a dozen opponents with the light and dark sides of the Force, and could hold his own against a large number of skilled opponents at once. Reason number 2. Combat skills. Revan was a highly skilled combatant, particularly with a lightsaber. He was skilled at deflecting and redirecting enemy fire with his lightsaber, and his abilities were bolstered by his gift of pre-recognition. He often made use of acrobatic maneuvers in combat, bolstering his body's natural abilities with the Force in order to increase his effectiveness. Among Revan's greatest victories was his defeat of Mandalore the Ultimate, the leader of the Mandalorian warrior culture and a feared warrior in his own right, in a one-on-one combat. On Korriban, Revan single-handedly defeated a pair of massive Tyranids, and he defeated dozens of Dark Jedi and Sith during the Jedi Civil War, along with his own former student Darth Malak. While he normally wielded a lightsaber, Revan was also proficient in the use of firearms, as he made use of blaster weaponry during his time as a Republic soldier and while fighting in the Taurus dueling ring. He also retained these skills later in his life, making use of a blaster while posing as Anvar on Rakade. Number 3. Knowledge and leadership ability. From a young age, he demonstrated exceptional skill and insight into the Force. Revan possessed an insatiable desire for knowledge, and demonstrated this by studying under many Jedi Masters, along with the study of Force bonds and other uncommon Force powers during his time as a Padawan. This in-depth study, combined with his robust connection to the Force, led Revan to being considered the most promising member of the Jedi Order once he achieved the rank of Jedi Knight. By 3964 BBY, Revan was already well known as a charismatic and powerful Jedi Knight, showcasing his natural leadership ability. Revan was known for his remarkable intelligence and exceptional charisma. A military genius, Revan was renowned for his tactical thinking and decisive leadership, even as a Jedi Knight. In his youth, Revan was outraged by the Jedi Council's indecision and refusal to act against the Mandalorians, and his desire to defend the Republic led him to argue intensely for his cause. His determination and charisma gained him a following of like-minded Jedi, though his strength and leadership led the others to accept him as their leader without question. Number 4. Revan's strategic genius. What made Revan's strategic mind so exceptional? From his early days as a Jedi Knight, his ability to adapt and learn from his experiences made him an even more formidable opponent. This was showcased during the Mandalorian Wars. Revan quickly won a string of military victories, proving himself to the Republic military a capable military leader. And in 3962 BBY, Revan prevented the Battle of Duro from becoming an even larger disaster by bringing a fleet of Interdictor-class cruisers into the system and preventing the Mandalorians from escaping with large amounts of war material from Duro's orbital shipyards. Under his leadership, the Republic war effort began to push back the Mandalorians, but at a price. Many of Revan's victories were the result of his sacrificing resources and territory in order to gain an advantage. He began to adopt a policy of victory at all costs. This resulted in Revan developing a cold and calculating disposition, unlike that of a Jedi. He matched the Mandalorians' brutal tactics with tactics just as merciless, resulting in the eventual victory over the Mandalorians. As a Sith Lord, he quickly built a vast empire, leveraging the advantages of the Starforge to his benefit. Number 5. Revan's Duality and Balance. How does Revan's duality enhance his dominance? At the height of his powers, Revan was able to channel both the light and dark sides simultaneously, and as a result, Revan could unleash the Force in its purest form by opening himself to both sides of the Force in battle. Having been both a Jedi and Sith, Revan had a unique perspective on the Force. He understood the strengths and weaknesses of both sides, allowing him to exploit them to his advantage. His ability to walk the line between light and dark gave him insights that few others had. This duality made him a symbol of balance, representing the potential for redemption and the complexity of the Force. Is Revan the most dominant Force user in Star Wars history? Absolutely. His strategic genius, mastery of the Force, lethal combat skills, leadership ability, and profound influence on both Jedi and Sith orders solidify his place as the most dominant Force user of all time. Do you agree? If so, force push the like button. And if not, please share who you think is the most dominant in the comment section below. And subscribe for more Star Wars lore content. May the Force be with you, and I'll see you in the next one.